haven't been live in like 10 or 11 days. No UFC last weekend. Hold up. That should be good. But I figured I'd hop on. I'm going to start going. I'm going to try and go live. Excuse me. I'm going to try and go live like a little bit more often. I don't want to sit here and promise anything and be like, oh yeah, I'll go live like 3 times a week, but we'll see what kind of streak we can go on. Sometimes there's just not stuff to talk about in the UFC, you know what I mean? But UFC 323 is this weekend. I'm going to go through the entire card. I have my picks and predictions in the description. I will also be filling in the timestamps afterwards, so I got to figure all that out. All right, hold up. Let me just... All right, plug this in, and then we'll be good to go. What the fudge? What the fudge? All right, let's lock into these picks. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to have a good card. I'm due for a really good card, and this pay-per-view, I mean, you see, we have some phenomenal fights on here. Dude, phenomenal fights, bro. Phenomenal fights all across the board. Great pay-per-view card. Great prelim card. Bro. Let's get ready to breaking this sucker down. So, Merab Dvalishvili versus Petr Yan. I want to give Petr Yan a chance here. Listen, Petr Yan is one of the best boxers at bantamweight. This is Petr Yan. This is the guy that was him. This was Merab before he became Merab, okay? Just a different version of Merab. Petr Yan has great cardio. He has great stand-up, okay? His boxing is elite. And Merab has good boxing too, but well, let's be honest, bro. Merab's boxing is only really technically elite because of his grappling. You know what I mean? The fact that Merab is able to just jump in and single leg you at will, and even if he doesn't single leg you the first time, the second time, or the third time, the fourth time he will, even if it's for a few seconds, that is the thing about Merab. He just the pressure, the pace. I do think Petr Yan's going to be a little bit more ready for it, though. And I do remember reading that Petr Yan, you know, as much as people want to say, like, don't bring up injuries and don't bring up this and that, Petr Yan was injured. He had a broken hand in his fight against Merab Dvalishvili. Does that change the outcome? Yeah, absolutely. Petr Yan probably doesn't get 50-40 forward in the 5-round fight. Maybe he loses 49-46. Maybe he loses 48-47. Petr Yan still loses that fight. Now, Petr Yan is a guy that knows how to adjust. He knows how to build a great game plan. And considering the fact that he's already fought Merab, I think Petr Yan's going to be a lot more prepared this time around. The real question is, will that matter? Is that even going to matter? That's the question that I keep asking myself. Is it even going to matter? Merab Dvalishvili is literally, I don't even, dude, I watched a documentary the other day, and Ray Longo had popped up in there, and he was talking about Merab and how, you know, even though he sees him train every single day, and even though he sees Merab, you know, go through the crazy whatever he does, training circuits, runs, you know, whatever he does that blows Ray Longo's mind, it still blows his mind even more when he sees Merab just pour pressure and pace on people. Like, these are guys that are high elite level fighters, okay? Guys that are prepared to go 5 rounds. And Merab just throws them around, okay? Merab just throws them around. He just treats them like they aren't on his level. And dude, whether they are in the stand-up or whether they are in the grappling, it doesn't even matter if they can keep up with it, because at the end of the day, the pressure and the pace is just too much. It's too overwhelming, bro. It's like like the normal, let me just break it down this way. The normal human being is able to exert a certain amount of force before their body begins to slow down and be like, hey, wait a second, let me get some more oxygen throughout your freaking system. Like, let me recover a little bit. Merab's body doesn't do that. It literally doesn't do that. Like, he doesn't slow down. I never see him, like, he takes a step back, and then as soon as you think you have him, oh, no, you don't. You literally don't. It doesn't make any sense. You know, rewatching that Umar Merab fight, I don't know, man. I don't know if Umar would have even won that fight had he not broke his hand later on. You know, and I still think a good, healthy Umar would have eventually wilted. Dude, Umar was like panting his ass off in those late 4th and 5th rounds. He was looking to Khabib like, yo, are you gonna come in and get this dude off me? Like, what is going on here? How is he? He's looking over at Khabib like, okay, I know they were talking about his cardio, but like, what is going on, dude? Ultimately, I want to give Petr Yan a chance, but I don't think he has one. I think even if he wins 2 rounds, the first 2 rounds, like we saw against Umar, I still think Merab's guaranteed to win all 3 of the last 3 rounds. I don't see Petr Yan finishing him. I don't see Merab finishing Petr Yan too. Petr Yan's a tough, like, he's a tough dude, bro. So I don't see either of these two finishing each other, but out of the luck of the draw that there is a random finish, I could just see Merab like catching a weird submission, and then, but Petr Yan's defense is so good. Like, he's going to be prepared for literally everything. It's going to decision. It's going to decision, and it's going to be Merab. Whether it's close, whether it's really close and it's a split decision, it's going to be Merab. Merab is winning this fight. Give me Merab Dvalishvili by decision. Now, this one, Pantoja versus Van, is a little bit different because there's a part of me that's sitting here that's thinking, dude, don't be silly. Don't be silly with this matchup. Do not overthink it. You are literally talking about arguably the bantam, or not the bantam, the flyweight GOAT. This is the flyweight GOAT. This is the flyweight GOAT. This is not Kai Kara France. This is not Brandon Moreno, Brandon Roybal. This is Alexandre Pantoja, bro. This is the literal flyweight GOAT. Aside from DJ, I don't even want... DJ isn't even the flyweight GOAT. I'm going to be completely honest. If Pantoja gets this win right here, he swept the damn division. Our last hope is Tatsuro Taira. And if Joshua Van can't beat Pantoja, oh my goodness, man. I don't even want Taira to fight him, dude. I just want Taira to chill until Pantoja retires. This is crazy, dude. This is crazy. It's a beautiful thing to see in the sport. Joshua Van fighting for a UFC title this early on in his career. I am 125% sure that Joshua Van will become a UFC flyweight champion, just not Saturday night, bro. Give me Alexandre Pantoja, whether this fight goes to decision and Pantoja just holds on for dear life in that 5th round by backpack, you know, or whether this fight ends early. I favor Pantoja. I just favor Pantoja. I know Joshua Van is really, really good, dude. I understand Joshua Van, the boxing, it's elite, it's crispy, it's quick. The combinations, he doesn't throw 3, 4, 5 punch combination. Joshua Van is out there throwing like 10 fucking punch combinations, dude. And he throws it quicker than most UFC fighters can throw a 3 or 4 punch combination. It's actually insane. But when it comes to MMA, there is no one better than Pantoja. There is no one better that comes and crashes and ruins your game plan than Pantoja. Joshua Van, here's the way I see this fight. First round, Joshua Van will have a little bit of success. Probably in the first minute. And then within like 2 minutes, Pantoja's going to have some grasp on him. Now, whether he takes Joshua Van down or not, he's going to, in the first exchange, I could see Joshua Van kind of putting up a little bit of a fight, defending the takedown, because Joshua Van has really good takedown defense. But the thing is Pantoja, he doesn't even take you down. He's so unorthodox in the way he fights. It's so hard to game plan for. It's like you don't know what to expect from Pantoja. I'm glazing Pantoja so much, but dude, he's the fucking flyweight GOAT. If he beats Joshua Van, he's the flyweight GOAT. He has literally swept the division to the point where they are dude, they're literally running out of fucking competitors that they're giving 24-year-old Joshua Van a shot. I just think it's too early for Van, man. I want him to become a champion, but like Pantoja's just there's levels to this. There's levels to this, and Joshua Van is Joshua Van is all the way up here. Like there are levels to this, okay? There's you know, the UFC level, you know, obviously all the way at the bottom. There's, you know, the bums and whatnot that aren't at UFC level. And then there are the guys that are UFC level, okay, that are very good at mixed martial arts. Then there are the guys that are at the top level, like the top 15, top 10, that are very good at mixed martial arts. And then there's like the top 5 that are elite. Okay, and it just gets more and more elite toward the top. And Joshua Van is like past that elite point, bro. He is very good. He beats practically anyone else in the division, I feel like, except for Pantoja. Okay, Pantoja is just like, if we're looking all the way at the top of the scale and Joshua Van's like right here, you know, this may look short because it's at the bottom of the screen, but trust me, this is fucking peak. I mean, the peak, you know, it doesn't get much higher than this. And this is like Pantoja, bro. This is like Pantoja. I'm telling you, he's just gonna be too elite. This is GOAT. This is GOAT we're talking about. This is like, I'm telling you, this is the run that we're going to talk about where we're just like, you know, this is crazy. He beat Joshua Van, a future flyweight champion who at least defends a few times and probably re-earns his title on a rematch if he loses it. And then we're talking about, you know, Brandon Moreno, Brandon Royval, guys who were fucking meant to be UFC champions, who were UFC champions. who literally just didn't get the opportunity in this era because Pantoja. Pantoja. He's just that elite. Crazy. Give me Alexandre Pantoja. Alexandre. I don't know why I keep calling him Alexandre. Alexandre Pantoja. Via submission. I don't want to call it via submission, but I think it's going to happen, man. I think he trips Joshua Van up in a very, very sneaky way, some sort of like backdoor trip or something where Joshua Van is not even expecting it. Okay? Pantoja uses his elite sweep to get all the way on Joshua Van's back, and then boom, all of a sudden, Joshua Van's sitting there, he's trying to defend the choke, he's fighting 2-on-1, and then Pantoja just with his insane grip strength grabs his shoulder, sinks in the other, and then boom! He sinks in the rear naked choke, and now at this point, Joshua Van is just sitting there. He's thinking whether he wants to tap or whether he wants to keep going. Joshua Van, the fighting spirit, the lion, he's gonna keep going. He's gonna try and fight out of the freaking choke. Who is Alexandre Pantoja to him? He's unfortunately the GOAT, bro. Joshua Van is 24 years old. Like I said, he's gonna be a future flyweight champion. Dude, Joshua Van is so fucking elite for 24 years old. He's so elite. But he's not beating the GOAT. He's not beating the GOAT. Give me Pantoja to win the fight, bro. Brandon Moreno versus Tatsuro Taira. Another fight that's a little bit harder to pick. But I'm ultimately going with Tatsuro Taira, and I will tell you why. Brandon Moreno is very good. His boxing is going to shine bright in this fight. But what's not is the back takes that he gives up to Tatsuro Taira. I have never seen nastier control when you get to the back than Tatsuro Taira's. Okay, it's nearly impossible to spin out of. It's just the worst position to literally be in, quite literally, in any fight on this card, I feel like. Nah, there's worse positions to be in, but realistically, in a 3-round fight when you're going up against Tatsuro Taira, who can sneak in on the back, snag like 2 to 3 minutes of him just fighting for a choke and win the round. It's tough to pick Brandon Moreno. Is his takedown defense going to prevail? I think so, but Tatsuro Taira doesn't even need to take you down, dude. The way I've seen this guy just jump on backs like a literal backpack, just fucking hook onto you, and then all of a sudden you're fighting a choke while you're standing up, and then worrying about your freaking knee popping out. Dude, he is so nasty. He doesn't even have to take you down. Tatsuro Taira is literally able to jump on your back, and then the way he just uses your momentum against you, he's going to find a way to put you in a compromised position on the ground. I have him winning a close fight here against Brandon Moreno. I think the 3-round fight is going to favor him heavily. Give me Tatsuro Taira to ultimately win this fight with his back takes, with his grappling, with his jiu-jitsu. He's not going to get the submission, though. Brandon Moreno is a dog, and he is not going to give up that easy to a rookie, man. 24 or 25-year-old rookie. This is what I'm talking about, though. This is what I love about the flyweight division. Are you kidding me? Tatsuro Taira, 25 years old. Wait until Tatsuro Taira and Joshua Van hit each other up, and they're like, yo, we're probably going to fight in the future, but like, fuck it, man. I'll teach you a little bit of jiu-jitsu. You teach me a little bit of striking. Pop, 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 pop. Oh my God, Joshua Van with Tatsuro Taira's jiu-jitsu, and then Tatsuro Taira with Joshua Van's striking, and then they ultimately fight for like a mega flyweight championship. DJ's just sitting there, the flyweight title just shining so bright on the pay-per-view card. He's just sitting there so proud, he's shedding a tear. Where has flyweight come to, man? Yeah, a man can dream, right? A man can dream, literally. All right, let's go. Yeah, I got Tatsuro Taira pulling through. I find I see Brandon Moreno, like I said, he could come in here. He could use his striking. He could use his stand-up. He could overwhelm Taira a little bit, but I'm taking Taira. I'm taking my boy Taira to backpack his way to a victory and maybe even sneak in a close submission that gets the crowd and the viewers kind of amped up a little bit. All right, give me Taira. Henry Cejudo and Payton Talbott. I see the logic with people when they're sitting there and they're picking Triple C in this fight. Don't get me wrong. I see the logic in all of that. But I'm not feeding into it. Payton Talbott is going to come in here more than prepared for Henry Cejudo's wrestling. Okay, Payton Talbott is more than capable of defending takedowns in this fight. And I'll tell you why. Okay, a lot of people are going to sit here, they're going to say, what about the Rioni fight? What happened? Okay, he got grapple fucked. Obviously, he got grapple fucked. We all saw it happen. Payton Talbott is not the kind of guy to take that loss and say, oh yeah, maybe I'll just go work on some spinning elbows. Maybe I'll develop my spinning back kick. Hit him with a John Jones spinning back kick. Shut my next opponent down. No, dude. He is hopping in the gym, and the first thing he is working on is grappling. I'm telling you right now, Payton Talbott's takedown defense is going to be more than sufficient in this fight. Is it going to hold up all throughout the fight? No. But I feel like this is going to be one of those fights where Henry Cejudo gets like a takedown and has like 20 or 30 seconds of control time, and then all of a sudden you see Payton Talbott get up, and then he throws a big knee. And then he throws a few elbows, and then he, hits Henry with a few jabs and, throws a few combos, and Henry's not really throwing anything back. He's jabbing Talbott up. He's trying to get on the inside. Boom, he gets on the inside. Talbott clinches. He hits him with a few knees. Maybe Cejudo sneaks in a trip and takes him down again, but Talbott is so lengthy in this fight. It's going to be such an advantage for him. Henry Cejudo is not the kind of guy where he's going to go into full mount and, try and ground and pound you and then try and snag your back. He's going to take you down, maybe try and sneak into half guard and ground and pound it. But I don't see it being successful in this fight. I just see Payton Talbott being able to pick Henry Cejudo off of him, not be so concerned with getting submitted and more so just giving up maybe his back to get up to his feet, and then all of a sudden he's on the cage, and then all of a sudden he's spinning out of it, and next thing you know he's landing a few more combos, and all Henry Cejudo did was take him down and fucking land like two little hammer fists. You know what I mean? I just see Henry Cejudo not having too much success in ground and pound against Payton Talbott, and maybe he could do a little bit in the striking if he gets in close and kind of makes it nasty. But I mean, if he's going to sit there and just use his energy to take Payton Talbott down and try and control him, Payton is going to be like a little fish. I'm telling you, I just have that sneaky feeling, man. He's going to be like a little fish that just starts, like a magic carp, just start flopping around, you know what I mean? Trying to get up and out of the position. He's not going to be concerned with Henry Cejudo submitting him. That's the biggest reason why I'm taking Payton Talbott in this fight. Is he going to finish Henry Cejudo? Maybe. If he gets away with an eye poke, he might, but Henry Cejudo is a tough MFer, man. I don't think he's going to finish him. I think it's going to go to decision. Payton Talbott should win it pretty easily, though. Yeah, give me Payton Talbott to win. Oh my god, this is another one that I pick flipped. Right before I did this video, I literally pick flipped. Because I saw the UFC embedded. And I pick flipped. Bro, Jan Blachowicz is going to beat Bogdan Guskov. Let me tell you why. Are we just forgetting about the fact that Billy Alicana snagged Bogdan's back and had it for like 5 minutes of a 5-minute round? We forgetting about that? Not really 5 minutes, okay? I'm kind of over exaggerating, but dude, if Billy can take you down, Jan is going to find a way to take you down. Now, does Bogdan have the opportunity and the chance early on to maybe land some big shots and get Jan kind of buzzed, and maybe Jan's all of a sudden just, you know, fighting different. He gets a little bit more frantic because he got clipped, and then all of a sudden Bogdan finishes him, hits him with another big shot and finishes him. There's the possibility, but I don't think it's going to happen, bro. We are talking about the Jan Blachowicz, who, I don't know how long ago did he fight Alex Pereira? How long ago did he fight Alex Pereira? Let me just double check on my other one, because I don't want to... I think it was 2 years ago. Maybe it was 3. Yeah, it was 2 years ago. No, closer to 2.5. 2.5 years ago. Bro, we are talking about the Jan that went in with a prime Alex Pereira and took him to a split decision that a lot of people were like, whoa, wait a second. Whoa, wait a second. Are we going to sit here? Like, are we seriously going to sit here and act like Bogdan Guskov is on Carlos Olberg's level? Are we like, come on, man. Come on, man. Jan Blachowicz, I'm not feeding into the Bogdan Guskov hype. If he wins this would be an absolutely phenomenal win for him. Huge name, bumps him all the way up to basically top 5, top 6. You know, one more fight and he's in the title picture. I just think Jan has one more sneaky win in him, and I think this is going to be it. I could see like a little downtrend from here on out, but I can't see Jan going out. He's coming off of what? 1, 2 losses in a row. I just don't see Jan going on a third. To Bogdan Guskov too. I just don't see it happening. Here's the thing. Jan isn't a wrestler. But if he sees an opening, he's going to take it. And I have a feeling that Bogdan Guskov, whether he starts opening up with the striking and gives Jan an opening to just trip him up and take him down, or he just goes in too close, starts clinching up with Jan, and all of a sudden Jan, you know, switches the position and maybe trips him up or just pushes him to the ground, muscles him to the ground or something, this fight is going to be over. Now, Guskov is not going to come out in the second round the same guy he was in that first round, especially if Jan gets him on the ground and does some damage, wears on him a little bit. Jan knows how to win fights against elite fighters. Bogdan Guskov is elite. But Jan is going to beat him. Give me Jan Blachowicz to win this fight. I could honestly see him finishing Bogdan. I could see him like low-key TKOing Bogdan in the second round. Gets him kind of exhausted and tired, wears on him in the first round. All of a sudden, the second round rolls around and boom. The fight is not the same, bro. The fight is just not the same. Jan's come in. He's all ready to go. 43-year-old Jan, all jolly and holly. He's got cardio for rounds. He's got another 3 rounds of cardio if we need to do an extra OT round, bro. He's ready to go 4 quarters, not 3. Give me Jan to win this fucking fight, bro. Give me Jan to win the damn fight. Sorry for cussing. Grant Dawson versus Manuel Torres. I'm taking Grant Dawson in this fight. Manuel Torres packs a punch. He's a very powerful dude. He's 4-1 in the UFC. He has some pretty good wins too, but Grant Dawson, aside from like that real, like, let's be honest, okay, it didn't look very good, you know, in terms of like his chin, but Grant Dawson is coming off of what, three wins now? Like Grant Dawson has proved that his chin is more than intact. Okay, it's not as cooked as we thought, and yeah, he didn't fight the craziest dudes, but like, you know, he fought Rafa Garcia, who got a few punches in on him. You know, he fought Diego Ferreira, who got a good amount of punches in on him. So I just think Manuel Torres is also going to be open to getting taken down. He's just very, very offensive and very, like, goes for, if you give him like a single leg guillotine, he's going to go for it. If you give him, you know, a few close strikes, maybe throw an elbow, he's gonna dirty box you back. Like, he's gonna give Grant Dawson openings to take him down. And Grant Dawson is very good at taking advantage of that. If he can take Manuel Torres' back, win 2 rounds of this fight, I could see Grant Dawson very easily winning well, yeah, obviously, if he wins 2 fucking rounds, obviously he's gonna win an easy unanimous decision. If Grant Dawson can take control, okay, and use his grappling, take this fight to the ground in that first round specifically, he's going to win this fight. Manuel Torres is not going to be able to keep up with the grappling. If Grant Dawson can literally just take him down within the first 2 minutes and then control him the rest of the round, this is Grant Dawson's fight to lose. Absolutely Grant Dawson's fight to lose at that point. We'll see how Manuel Torres holds up. Maybe, you never know. He could cinch in a nasty guillotine choke when Grant Dawson slips his head a little bit, and all of a sudden the fight's over, bro. You could be as good as freaking all of the greatest grapplers combined on planet Earth, but you slip up and give up a guillotine, you're not getting out of that. You're just not. Unless you're Armin Sarukian and you can just twist your fucking neck in like 480 degrees, 580 degrees, whatever, however many degrees that man can twist his neck. Yeah, give me Grant Dawson to win this fight via submission. Let's do it, man. Give me Grant Dawson via submission, baby. Terrance McKinney versus Chris Duncan. I'm taking Terrance McKinney. Yo, I was baffled when I seen the slight underdog odds. I thought this was going to be a pick'em. I was baffled at the fact that Terrance McKinney was an underdog. Guys, this fight is not going any longer than 3 minutes. Okay, who do you favor in a 2-minute fight? I don't know. I literally don't know anyone better than Terrance McKinney in the first 2 minutes of fights. Like, that is a next level elite fight. That is like champ. If Terrance McKinney could somehow do that and get away with it in every single fight, like if he had some crazy ass chin to where he could just take one big punch from you and not get rocked, and all of a sudden he just hits you back, he would literally win every fight. He would never lose a fight. He would win every fight within the first like 2 rounds. Terrance McKinney is literally legendary in the first 2 rounds. I don't think this fight goes any further than 3. Give me Terrance McKinney to knock or submit. I kind of want to lean towards submission because I can see Terrance McKinney just drop him and then kind of slip to a guillotine or a darce, or, you know, grab the back, whatever the case may be, and just slip in a nasty choke. But, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if it was a big one-shot knockout, walk-off KO either. So, yeah, give me Terrance McKinney to win the fight regardless via finish. Maycee Barber versus Karine Silva. I'm taking Maycee Barber to win this fight. I just think she's going to come in here and be the bigger bully. I think she's going to be the one that moves forward. I think she's going to be the one that's pushing the pace a little bit more. I think she's going to be kind of like pushing Karine back, you know, hugging her a little bit, maybe trying to take her down, you know, wearing on her, smashing the elbow in the chin and the face, you know, putting her hand over Karine Silva's mouth, really trying to exhaust her and try and break her down. And I see her just winning this fight, unanimous, 29-28. Karine Silva might pull out, you know, a random round. We might have a few judges that kind of think differently and give her round 3. One of them might give her round 2, but it's going to be Mackenzie. I said McKenzie. I almost said Mackenzie Dern. Maycee Barber. It's going to be Maycee Barber that comes in and wins the fight. She's just going to win the fight. Simple as that. Faraz Ziam versus Nazim Sadykhov. This is one of my favorite fights on the card. I am very hyped up for this fight. I'm taking Nazim Sadykhov. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to be 110 straight up % honest with you. There is bias in the Nazim pick. I love Nazim Sadykhov. Okay. He's so fun to watch. He's never out of fights. I mean, how many times have you seen this guy get rocked, get clipped, get put in a bad position, and then all of a sudden he's coming back and finishing the fight? He's so crazy. He's really good. He's quick. He's got great boxing. Ziam is really good too. This guy's going to be a little bit longer. He's obviously going to have a nice reach advantage. He's really good at fighting on the outside, but Nazim Sadykhov, I mean, the kicks in the recent fights too, man. I mean, he's able to throw that sucker up quick. Okay, very quick. But Ziam has to be on all 5 toes. You know, I meant to say on all 10 toes, but I said all 5. Sorry. On all 10 toes because, dude, Nazim Sadykhov is just... He's quick with it. He's never out of a fight. Just when you think you have him cracked and it's over, he just finds a way to get back into it. I ultimately think Nazim is going to lose that first round. I feel like he is going to drop that first round, and then all of a sudden it's going to wake him up. And the next thing you know, he comes out, wins round 2. It's 1-1 going into round 3, and I see Nazim really coming in here, putting the pressure and the pace on Ziam in that last round. Ziam is a killer, but dude, I just see Nazim landing the perfect, crispy jab right into like a head kick combination that just gets Ziam all the way effed up. And the next thing you know, it's Nazim just pouncing on him, finishing the fight, TKO. 3rd round. Give me Nazim Sadykhov to show out, to pop out at the party for UFC 323. Marvin Vettori and Bruno Ferreira. This is another fight where I tossed and turned, bounced back and forth. I wanted to take Marvin, and then I was like, Marvin really hasn't been looking that good recently, and Bruno Ferreira is. And ultimately, the reason I'm taking Bruno Ferreira, I just think he has more finishing ability. And I've seen the argument all over. Marvin Vettori has never been finished. He's got a chin of steel. He's elite. He's so good. How many times have we heard this story, bro? How many times have we heard the story of, oh, the guy is so elite. Oh, the guy is so, he's so chinny. He's never going to get finished. And then he fights a finisher. And then all of a sudden, it's, oh man, we should have seen this coming. You know, the damage that so-and-so had all throughout their career. And now all of a sudden they fought a finisher and we expected them to not get finished. Bro, this is one of those fights where I have a feeling, dude, that Bruno Ferreira is just going to chin Marvin Vettori so bad. And whether he just jumps on like a nasty submission and just finishes the fight that way, or whether he jumps into Marvin Vittori's guard and just, jumps right past it, takes mount, and then just lands some nasty hammer fist. Something crazy is going to happen that is going to shock everyone in terms of Marvin Vittori's durability, his chinniness, his top 5 money line parlay. Fuck, man. What do you need to pay off the mortgage or some shit, bro? Fuck. I don't know. Bro. If I had to be honest with you, I would take Merab. I would take Pantoja. I think those two guys are just on a different level than Petr Yan, or than the guys they're fighting. And not like, no disrespect to Petr Yan, no disrespect to Joshua Van, but I was talking about it earlier in my stream. Petr Yan, he's so good, but Merab is just like Ray Longo said it best, bro. He's been with Merab for so long. He's been around Merab for so long. He's seen Merab train. He's seen Merab run. He's seen Merab do just about any circuit, any drill you could possibly think of. And he's still like astonished and shocked and baffled and mind blown at the fact that Merab fights the way he does, in most of his fights. So I think Merab is
definitely one of those confident picks. But I mean, he's like what, a 4 or 5 to 1 favorite, bro. It's like, I don't even know. Merab's not even really worth putting in unless you like do decision or some shit. But then Pantoja, I mean, he's a little bit more value, but Pantoja again, dude. Like Joshua Van's elite, but we're talking about fucking one of the flyweight goats. We're talking about literally the flyweight goat if he beats Van and then beats like one more dude. The resume is not even, you can't even compare the flyweight resumes. It's actually insane. Swept the damn division, bro. Swept the damn division. But yeah, I would say those two are like, I like those picks a lot. Talbott, I think, is gonna win. Talbott's, I don't know, I'm like pretty confident on Talbott, but Henry Cejudo could come out here and like just, I don't know, man. I don't think Henry Cejudo has no submission game that is gonna be a threat to Payton Talbott. He has no way of like asserting any sort of like crazy damage down at the bottom when he has Talbott in guard or whatever. So it's like I think Payton Talbott wins too. And then Jan Blachowicz, I just think Jan is just too good, bro, for Bogdan Guskov. He's just going to incorporate the full MMA game as opposed to Bogdan, who's going to come in and just try and take Jan's head off. And I just don't think it's going to work out good for Guskov. I think, we're talking about Jan Blachowicz, who was literally in the ring with a prime Alex Pereira and took him to one of his like grittiest decisions. Okay, he knows how to win fights, man. He just knows how to win fights. Was the most dominant? No, but he knows how to win fights, man. I got to give it to him. But yeah, Bruno Ferreira, I think he's going to win. I think it's going to be one of these fights where like Marvin Vettori, everyone says, you know, oh man, he's got a gritty chin. He's never been finished, da 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 da. And then Bruno Ferreira just cracks it. And then all of a sudden, everyone's like, dang, man, we should have seen this coming. We should have seen this coming. Give me Bruno Ferreira to finish the fight. I don't know if he's going to win via submission or knockout, but I do think he's going to. I have a feeling that, like, I can just envision it now. You know what I mean? Round 1. Marvin Vettori comes out. He tries to put the pressure on Ferreira. Ferreira kind of eats it up. You know what I mean? Maybe Marvin drops a big shot in here and there, but it's nothing to rattle Brunno. And then all of a sudden, Brunno lands a big bomb over the top. Have you seen Bruno Ferreira slug? Dude, the guy throws from like the ground. He somehow gets his fist all the way on the ground and then slings it up like a rocket. I mean, at that point, that thing is accelerating and fucking coming at you at speeds like no other. But I think Bruno Ferreira is going to come in and finish Marvin Vettori. Next fight, Jalen Turner versus Edson Barboza. I hate this fight because we don't know what Jalen Turner is coming back. We don't know if it's the Jalen Turner that wanted to retire, that wanted to be done with MMA, that wanted this career to be over, that wanted all the bullshit to be gone with mixed martial arts and wanted to turn a new page and start a fucking new career in painting or something and become a poet. You know what? He didn't want to compete in mixed martial arts anymore. You know, and it's like, dude, with the amount of times that, you know, Jalen Turner got screwed over, not necessarily screwed over, but like how close he got to reaching that very, very elite level, and for it to be so close and then it just gets all like taken away because he just goes on a big losing streak. It's tough, bro. It's really tough. But I am ultimately going to take him because Edson Barboza, as good as he was, he isn't as good anymore. And Jalen Turner, whether he's fully in this or not, okay, is still very good at mixed martial arts. He may not beat, you know, the top 15 and the top 20, but Edson Barboza is more than a capable win for Jalen Turner. In fact, I think he's going to come in and probably dominate Edson Barboza. Is he going to finish him? I'm not entirely sure about that, but it's going to be dominant. I think this is going to be one of those, and this is a good fight for Jalen Turner. I mean, this is a good step down in competition. He's coming off of what? Ignacio Bahamondes' loss. Ignacio Bahamondes? Bro, we are talking about a future champion. Ignacio Bahamondes. Like, it's all right, Merab, Talbott, Ferreira, and who else? I have all of my picks in the comments. I have all the fights lined out in the comments section. Or not the comments, the description, sorry. So if you want like a whole, like all of them right in front of you, so you can kind of just like see everyone I'm picking, they're all right there. But everyone on the left side I'm picking: Merab, Pantoja, Taira, Talbott, Jan, Dawson, McKinney, Maycee, Nazim, Bruno Ferreira, Jalen Turner. And now on to the next fight. Ibo Aslan versus Iwo Baraneski. This is a weird fight to predict, but I can't put my faith, I can't put my pick, I can't put anything on Ibo Aslan. Okay. Iwo is very good. And I didn't even know this up until like right before I did the live. But I was watching MMA experts, and he had mentioned that Iwo actually had like a very lengthy amateur career prior to turning professional. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure it was like 16-3 or maybe 14-3 or something. Like, he had a very nice and long and lengthy amateur career to where he was fighting fighters who, you know, weren't just 0-0, but fighters who had some experience, you know. So he got plenty of experience before even turning pro. And now we're talking about an Iwo who's 6-0, who's very, very, very powerful, who's more than willing to strike with Ibo. But Iwo also has, you know, a decently sneaky, you know, takedown in the back pocket. I feel like when he's fighting Ibo in this fight, you just have to. Like, there is no way anyone is going to go up into a fight against Ibo Aslan anymore and just not try and take him down, trip him, push him up against the cage and just reap one of his legs. Do something to take this guy down, because he is just, it's just so weird. I mean, it's just like he just doesn't get up. And it's just one of those things where I can see Iwo, you know, kind of sneaking that in there. Ibo starts, you know, throwing these big shots. He's swinging. All of a sudden, he gives up his back. Iwo, you know, grabs it. And then all of a sudden, he's pulling him down and then just jumps on him. And then, you know, once Iwo, light heavyweight, 240-pound Iwo Baraneski is sitting on you, you're not going to want to get up, especially if you have an Ibo Aslan kind of fight style where, you know, Ibo is all go, all steam. I mean, this guy has no acceleration at all. He is just fucking weighing right in, bro. Like, he doesn't, you know, ease into anything. I mean, from the bell, as soon as he looks at you and moves around the octagon a few times, he is slinging big shots. There's always a chance that he may knock you out, but it's just one of those fighting styles where if you don't really win within the first like 2-3 minutes and you just so happen to, you know, throw a few too many big shots, and then all of a sudden and there's still 2 minutes left in the round and you're like, what the fuck? It's not the second round yet. Yeah, that's one of those situations where Ibo might get himself into, and I think Ibo will take full advantage of that if that's the case. Obviously, like I said just a second ago, Ibo is more than capable of just throwing in a big, nasty fucking overhand randomly from his hip, and all of a sudden Ibo gets knocked out, you know, because he doesn't even see it coming. But I think Ibo is going to end up, I hate how it's Ibo and Iwo. I think Iwo is going to end up knocking out Aslan, or finishing him. He might even submit him. I think he's going to TKO him, actually. Take the submission back. Take the submission back. Iwo is going to come in and knock or TKO Ibo Aslan out. Mansour Abdul-Malik. Do I even have to talk about this fight? Do I have to... Mansour Abdul-Malik is going to send Antonio Tricali to the Shadow Realm. Good night, Antonio Tricali. Yeah. Nah, this is not going to be a good fight at all for Antonio Tricali. This is going to be a very, very vicious, probably within the first like minute or two, knockout. Mansour is going to put Antonio Tricali's lights out bad. He might even just jump in there and land a few absolutely unnecessary hammer fists to make the performance just that much more vicious. It's just, I don't even know what else to say. I mean, I'm at a loss for words. Mansour is going to absolutely destroy in this fight. Give me Mansour Abdul-Malik confidently to win within probably the first 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes. Maybe Antonio Tricali runs around and just, you know, has Mansour chasing him, and then all of a sudden, you know, it takes him an extra minute to find the punch, but Mansour is going to viciously finish this fight within the first round. And finally, we got the fight that kicks off the beautiful UFC 323 fight card in Las Vegas, Nevada. Muhammad Naimov versus Marian Santos. Dude, I tried so hard. I tried so hard to pick Muhammad Naimov. I tried so hard. He's got good wrestling. I would say really good if his control was just slightly better in this matchup, but in this matchup right here, he's got good, let's just say really good. Let's just say really good, but it's not like, it's not going to be enough to hold Marian Santos down. It's just not. Marian Santos is going to defend a bunch of these takedowns. If Naimov gets him down, he's not going to sit down. And like Naimov does have a sneaky little back take, but I don't see him getting it. I just don't see him getting it. I don't see him getting Marian Santos down to the ground in more than maybe 2 of these rounds. Okay, in that first round, I think Marian Santos is going to keep it on the feet, touch Naimov up, win the first round easily. The second round might be a little bit closer. Naimov might get him down a few times. I don't think he's going to sink in a body triangle until maybe third round, when Santos, you know, has defended a good amount of takedowns. Naimov has pushed the pace on him a little bit, you know, and then all of a sudden Naimov is coming out for the neck because he doesn't have the striking advantage. He can't really knock him out. He doesn't have the opportunity to TK him because Santos is just moving all around. So he goes for the back, the arm triangle. He just attempts to finish the fight some way via submission. It just won't work out. Marian Santos is going to win this fight via decision. He might even win all 3 rounds, but Naimov is pretty good. Naimov is very underrated. I just think Santos is the next big thing coming up, man. I just think Santos is the next big thing coming up. It's so amazing seeing all these 24, 25, like 26-year-old fighters on pay-per-view cards. Like, this is exactly what we need, bro. The UFC needs to be, especially on Paramount now, you know, on these earlier cards, we need these younger fighters who are going to go in there and try and finish fights and not be boring and try and get the flashy KOs and follow in the Ilia Topuria and the Conor McGregor and the Islam Makhachev ways of actually going in there and trying to finish fights and not just, you know, holding people. And I'm not saying any shade to anyone, you know, obviously, if you can't get up, if you're allowing someone to just hold you down and it's only one man, I mean, imagine what 2 men can do to you, bro. Imagine what 2 men can do to you. If one man can sit there and just negate everything you can do for 80 to 90% of a 25-minute fight, and all you can do is just sit there and hug him from the top and try and minimize all the damage that you're taking, I mean, just imagine what 2 even untrained guys could do to you, bro. I don't know, man. Listen, it may not be the prettiest, but it's the UFC. What are you going to do, though? I mean, what is there really to do? You can't really change rules because, like, how are you supposed to change rules without punishing people? But then, like, how do you even change the rules? Like, really, the only real thing you can change about the UFC is, listen, you start some sort of timer, the ref starts some sort of mental timer, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, you know, and if he doesn't see a fighter do any sort of significant damage, and I'm not talking about, oh, you're in full mount and, you know, you have the opportunity to rain down some nasty elbows and you're just sitting there like this, you're sitting there landing hammer fists with 20% power because you're trying to conserve for the next round. You know, if a referee, and obviously it's so hard to give a referee like the discretion to just be like, oh yeah, man, like I didn't really see enough. You know, this is why these mother effers get investigated, is because you give them some sort of power, and then when they make some sort of human like error, everyone just goes all in on them. But it's just it's tough, man. Like there's so much the UFC just has to fix and just has to jump onto ASAP. The eye pokes, there has to be some sort of penalty or some sort of, like, if listen, no, you cannot do this. Train like this. If you are grappling, that is completely different. Okay, you are like, it's just so hard, dude. The adrenaline's fucking pumping through these guys' veins. Like, it's so hard to, but like, dude, if you start penalizing people and just immediately take a point, imagine how much more attention everyone is going to pay with eye pokes. You know what I mean? You immediately take a point, and obviously you can leave it up. Like if it's like a little minor one where, you know, everyone's grappling and then all of a sudden someone just like shoots crazy down here right by the arm, and it, like, you know, someone's like trying to hold, you know, break up a grip or whatever on a leg, or I don't know. It's so hard to think of a scenario because it's like, man, it's fighting. Like anything could happen. You know what I mean? And you use your hands and you use your fingers to grapple. And it's like, you can't just like grapple with fucking fists. You can't just like reach in and hug someone with fists and then open your hands and be like, all right, man, now I can open my hands. It's too much to think about. But I mean, realistically, if you just immediately start penalizing fighters and just taking points right away, and there's a few fighters that get that, you know, it may not be fair to the first few fighters that it happens to, but trust me, the message that it's going to send through the entire UFC, it's probably going to ruin a few fights and a few fight cards, to be honest, in the beginning. But dude, I mean, how many fights even have eye pokes? There's like 2 or 3 fights max that have eye pokes. You know what I mean? It's like, and it's one of those, it's those like important fights too, where it's like, oh yeah, you know, that's, if a fighter's fighting compromised and blurred, man, give him a damn, take the point, bro. Like imagine if the ref was like, yo, man, I'll take 2 points from Serial Gone. It's a 5-round fight. You're continuing. You're either continuing or vacating. And then Tom Aspinall actually sits there and he's like, yo, bro, I can't see. You know, obviously from there, at that point on, you know, we can go from there and be like, oh yeah, Tom Aspinall can't see, you know, we got to do something about this. We got to take care of it. You know, maybe we just stop the fight. Maybe we let the doctor take a look at it. And if there's damage, maybe if there's no damage, you know, I don't know. It's such a nitpicky topic. You know what I mean? Because it's like you can sit here and be like, oh yeah, well, you could do this to make it better. But then you don't think about the fucking way that introduces a new factor into the equation. And then all of a sudden you're like, wait, well, that fixes this problem. But now there's this new thing that's causing a problem for this thing over here that had no issue just now. Such a nitpicky topic, man. It's such a hard thing to talk about. It's such a hard thing to fix too. You know, it's so unfair to those fighters that don't even do it. Like, sometimes you just do it out of instinct. You know, if you get into the zone of a grappling zone and all of a sudden you're trying to use your hands, you're not going to, like I said, you're not going to defend and stuff takedowns like this, bro. You're not going to go and try and stuff a takedown with your fist. You got to open your hand. You got to use your palm. You got to use your fingers. You know what I mean? Anyways, thank you so much for watching up until this point. This next section here is going to be the favorite picks section. I have 3 fighters on this card that I really, really, really like to win. The value on one of them is absolutely stunning and beautiful. The other 2, not as good, but they're very confident picks for me. For me personally, I'm very confident in these picks. First one, Merab Dvalishvili. I've talked about it. He's just different. Petr Yan could improve by 100%, come into the fight completely healthy, which I highly doubt he will, but still, come into the fight completely healthy, improve by double the amount he did against the first fight versus Merab, and it's still not going to matter. Merab's still going to win 48-47 or 48-47 via split decision. He's going to find a way to retain that belt. Give me Merab Dvalishvili by decision. And you could maybe even sneak in a little round 5 in there, but just be Petr Yan's so durable. He's so elite. He's not going to get finished. Unless you want to make a nasty donation and then all of a sudden it randomly happens and you're just pleasantly surprised. But it's going to be a decision. Alexandre Pantoja, I don't know why I keep saying Alexandre. Alexandre Pantoja is the next confident pick. I talked about it earlier. Joshua Van is going up against the flyweight GOAT, the future flyweight GOAT. Joshua Van is very good. He's elite, but he's just not on Pantoja's level. Pantoja's just too unorthodox for Van, I think, in this situation. And Van is going to get him in some compromised positions. Van is going to get Pantoja up against the cage. He is going to land some good body shots. Those might pay dividends in that 5th round, but I just don't see him finishing Pantoja. And I see Pantoja just sneaking in 3 rounds to retain his belt. Give me the crafty, the savvy, the almighty flyweight champion Alexandre Pantoja to defend his belt and still. And then he will be fighting Tatsuro Taira next. Don't worry about it, because Taira is beating Brandon Moreno. I wanted to throw him in my favorite picks section, in my confident picks section. And I kind of want to take him, but I also want to take Nazim Sadykhov because I really like him in the matchup against Ziam. And the fact that Nazim is an underdog just blows my mind too, bro. But, I mean, he always does put himself in positions to lose and then he wins. So, give me both of them, man. Give me Tatsuro Taira and give me Nazim Sadykhov. I love the value on both of those guys. I love the fact that Tatsuro Taira is coming in after a split decision loss to Brandon Royval and fighting Brandon Moreno. It's not going to be the same Moreno that we are accustomed to. And I'm telling you, Taira may not dominate this fight. He may not submit Brandon Moreno, but he sure as heck is going to find a way to win it. And Nazim Sadykhov, I mean, you already know the drill. He's quick on his step. If he gets put in a bad position, he's one of those guys that he's going to fight until the very last bell. And that's what I like about Nazim in this fight. He may drop that first round to Ziam, but Nazim in that second round, bro. That's all I got to say. Thank you guys so much for watching the live, for tuning in. I'm going to be live a little bit more frequently, so subscribe if you're new. Leave a like. Drop down in the comments if you disagree with me on any of these fights. Sway me in the right direction, bro. UFC is not until Saturday. Today is, for some reason, I thought Thursday, but it is Wednesday. It isn't Thursday quite yet. But yeah, man, drop down in the comments. Let me know if you guys disagree with anything. If you guys do, at least tell me why. If you don't want to tell me why, I guess F me. It is what it is. Have a great night. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you're new. Leave a like if you're new, and if you're old, and if you're young, and if you're bold. Drop a comment down below. Thank you so much.